Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's head-to-head comparison, let's take a look at the 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander and the 2025 GMC Acadia. I borrowed the Grand Highlander from FOURR Toyota of Statesville, so take a look at their website down in the description, along with the full detailed reviews on both of these models to see them in greater details. But let's start off with the starting MSRPs. For the Grand Highlander, they start around $40,000 versus $42,000 for the GMC. In today's review, this Grand Highlander is closer to $55,000 versus $59,000 for the GMC. So it is slightly more expensive. But moving on to the powertrains now, the Grand Highlander has a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It is paired to an 8-speed automatic, and it pumps out 265 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. For the GMC, this has a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine paired to an 8-speed automatic. It pumps out 328 horsepower, 326 pound-feet of torque. Now the GMC has the all-wheel drive system. This particular Grand Highlander is front-wheel drive. However, you can get all-wheel drive as well to better compete with the GMC. Curb weights, 4,800 pounds for the GMC versus 4,300 pounds for the Toyota. And then as far as 0 to 60 times go, 6.5 seconds for the GMC, closer to 7 seconds for the Toyota. And then fuel economy, you're looking at 19 and 24 for the GMC, 21 and 28 for the Grand Highlander, and they can both tow right around 5,000 pounds as well. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, you'll notice that we have a much different design. For the Toyota, there's the sensor for the distance pacing within the badge. Very slim set of LEDs, along with the fog lights in the middle section of the bumper. There's also parking sensors throughout the front, and then there's a brush trim accent in that lower section with a large grille right in the middle. For the GMC, the grille is in the upper section basically, where this model does have a forward-facing camera. There's also LEDs, fog lights in the corners there, parking sensors too, and then the distance pacing sensor is located in the lower section of that bumper. It does sit a little bit much higher. For this particular GMC, it does have a slight lift to it, so it will be a little bit higher than this Toyota here. And then we have a few lines coming down the hood, a little bit more aggressive for the GMC. Now, as we work our way to the side, they both have plastic for the fender arches. Nice set of wheels. This particular model has some all-terrain tires, so with that added lift, versus just a standard tire for the Grand Highlander. Now you'll notice there's a turn signal with the body colored mirror. You get a camera and a turn signal for this GMC. Up top, full moonroof with the roof racks, and then same thing for the Grand Highlander. You have the full moonroof and the roof racks too. Now again, there are some options on this Toyota that you can get that are not actually on this model here, but they can better compete with the GMC there. And taking a look at these sides now, they have a similar overall shape, especially with the pillar in the back there, and then some subtle lines that run down the side. Now as we work our way to the back, very large third brake light running across the entire spoiler there. There's the wiper blade, LEDs, the backup camera, all the sensors, and then the exhaust is hidden on both sides. It does have a dual exhaust system. Now you can use the button on the key fob or the one up underneath to open up this power liftgate, where this is a 3-row SUV. So with the third row all the way up, look at how much space you have in the back. There's also a little bit of space underneath. You can place the cover there too, which is nice. And then these are manual seats. So just pull on this tab here, and that's how you can fold the entire seat down. You have the strap to pull it back up. So it's very quick to do this. I like that they are not automatic because you can quickly put them up and down depending on the storage or people that you need. And then you have 2 buttons up top where you can close and lock it. Now, as we work our way to the GMC, you have a spoiler up top with a much smaller third brake light. There's also a camera too for the rear view mirror. Wiper blade is in the lower section. There's LEDs, backup camera, all the parking sensors, and then there's the quad tip dual exhaust along with the hitch right in the middle. Now you can use the button on the key fob or the one up underneath, just like on the Toyota, where we have a 3-row SUV as well, and with the third row up, it looks like there's about the same amount of space. You can lift up the floor where you do get a lot more storage in the GMC. You can place some items as needed. And then these seats are also manual too. Now you do have to have the second row in a correct position for this to fold flat, but you can get a sense for what it would look like and the amount of space that you do get. And then you only have one button up top, so there's not a button to lock the vehicle. You also have the hands-free option too to open up that liftgate. Now as we work our way to the Toyota, it has the proximity door handles there. This model also has the manual adjusting sunshade, There's a little bit of storage, and then more storage in that lower section there. And we have captain's chairs for this model too. There's adjustments on the side where you can move these seats forwards and backwards too. They recline and incline. And then when you pull on this tab, that's how you can release the seat and push it forwards to hop into this third row. So we have 3 seats in the back. And at 5'10", I'd say I have a good bit of space. Again, you can move those seats forwards if you need a little bit more. You have tons of space with an auxiliary on one side there. And then at my height, I have ½ inch, maybe inch or so of headroom. So honestly, I could ride around town. This is doable for full-size adults if I had to ride in the back. And then there's that step there, makes it easy to get out. And then from there, we just grab this handle here and we can slide that seat back into its original position. Now at my height, plenty of space in the second row. There's storage pockets on both sides. These are heated seats. There's all the climate adjustments, more auxiliaries, and then you have a little bit of storage up top there with more in the middle, adjustable armrests there. And then I have a little bit more space, of course, and you can recline these seats if you want to get a little bit more comfortable. So definitely plenty of space for your second and third row passengers. And as we work our way to the GMC, you'll notice that this has proximity door handles too. Just a little bit different of a design with that control there. Now there's no sunshade. You have a little bit of storage down below, up top too, so just a different configuration. And then with the captain's chairs, we don't have the same adjustments in the same spots. We have recline and incline, the bars up underneath to slide them forwards and backwards. But we do have the same adjustment here, and the seat folds just a little bit different. It stays more upright than being pushed forwards. And so as we hop into the back now, this seat again can be moved forwards if you need more leg room. But you have auxiliaries, storage space there too. And then at my height, I have a lot more headroom than in the Toyota. So a little bit higher there, but my knees are much higher than where the seat is. So I'd say you have a little bit more space in the Toyota versus this for your third row passengers. Now for the second row, we have a good bit of space. There's cup holders. These are heated too, more auxiliaries and storage, and then fan and temperature. There's storage pockets on both sides. Armrests are adjustable too. And then at my height, probably about the same amount of room for your second row passengers, and then you can recline these too, just to get a little bit more comfortable. So you do get a little bit more space in the Toyota for the third row. And then up front, since I have full detailed reviews, we'll just highlight some of the key factors here. There's your window control, side mirror adjustments, liftgate release there. You do get power operating front seats. And then we have a leather steering wheel. Engine start stop is to the right there. There's also paddle shifters. Volume and tuning adjustments are behind and underneath those. This particular model has Super Cruise too, so there's all the adjustments for that. And then on the right side, there's some shortcuts here where you also have a few pages to go through the gauge cluster. It's not configurable, but you have these 3 just to go through, just depending on what info you need to see. This also has a head-up display that you can monitor too. And then on the left, you do have a few different driving modes. You'll notice those will pop up in the infotainment system. So you can go through these just depending on the throttle response that you need and what you were doing. There's also the all-wheel drive control, so you can actually go to front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. There's the engine start-stop along with 1 air vent. And then coming back to the steering wheel here, this is the stock to put it into reverse and drive. So pull it towards you and up for reverse, where you have the backup camera with several guidelines with that 360 system. Drive is going to be down, you have neutral in the middle, and then park is on the end of that stock. And then working our way to the infotainment system, for the home screen, there's all of these icons here. So you can get into all of this information. There's also a split view. You can pull up the nav in full screen, and then you have your phone too when that is paired. In the lower section, this is how you can get into all of your headlight adjustments too. There's your hill descent control, and you have a little bit more that you can configure. So you have shortcuts here for your headlights and lighting. And then in the lower section, pretty much all of your climate adjustments, along with the heated seats, ventilated seats. And then you have the physical buttons here to go through the rest of this. Volume is the tab right in the middle there, the rotary dial there. Now there's wireless charging, you get some storage and auxiliaries, a lot more storage underneath. And then there's 2 cup holders. You get plenty of storage in the armrest there. Plenty of room in the glove box too. You have garage door buttons up top, along with that digital rear view camera. There's your controls for the sunshade and sunroof, along with the sunglass holder, and then a good bit of space and visibility over both shoulders. So it's pretty easy to see. You have a lot of glass, which is very helpful, especially for the added length of these vehicles. Now, working our way back to the Toyota, this door panel has a nice design. You have the settings for memory seating adjustments, which is nice, and power folding side mirrors. Now, they are power folding on the GMC. They just do that when you lock and unlock. On this, you actually have the control to do that. And then there's power operating front seats. And hopping into this, we have the solid steering wheel. Engine start stops just in a little bit different of a position. No paddle shifters for this model, but it does have adaptive cruise, no super cruise, but you still have all of those adjustments, which are very helpful. Left side, there's volume, Bluetooth, and voice commands. And then for this gauge cluster, you have 3 different settings that you can go through, and they are configurable. So it's kind of like the 3 in the GMC. However, you have the option of choosing what you would like to see for each page. So a little bit more configurable with the amount of information shown. Even though you only have the 3 pages, you can go through quite a lot. Now on this left side, heated steering wheel, there's the liftgate release, automatic headlights, and then 1 air vent above that. No head-up display for this model. And then working our way to the infotainment system, I'd say you have a good bit of information. Toyotas just basically give you what you need without going overboard. So you can go through all these settings, basically hook up your phone to this system and have a large screen to go through that information. So it's very user-friendly with what it offers. Underneath that, heated and ventilated seats. There's the climate adjustments in that middle screen there where you can go through defrosters, temperatures. You can even adjust the rear climate controls, which you can do in the GMC too. There's air vents underneath that, some auxiliaries. You get wireless charging down below with a lot of storage space surrounding the shifter. Now with the shifter, we'll put this into reverse where you have the backup camera and a few guidelines there. You can also shift down here since there's no paddle shifters. You have auto hold, the engine start stop, a snow mode, and then a few different driving modes here that you can go through just depending on the throttle response that you need. You can open up the middle of the armrest here, and that is how you can gain access to everything. You get storage for your passenger along with an auxiliary over there, plenty of storage down below. And then garage door buttons up top. You get a sunglass holder too. And then the controls for the dome lights, sunshade, and sunroof. And then visibility is going to be about the same. You can see over both sides. So for the added length again, pretty easy to see. So with the exteriors and interiors wrapped up, let's get both of these 3-row SUVs out on the road and see how they drive. So let's start off behind the wheel for the Toyota Grand Highlander in sport mode 2nd gear. Here we go. And a mild acceleration, we're up to speed. You can also use this shifter to hold the gear too, which is nice. So if you happen to be towing or something like that, you can use that as needed. Without the paddle shifters, that is your only spot to do that. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Grand Highlander. We have been able to review these a few times. I think it's a really nice layout, and you have a lot of different options for the Highlander in general. You can go Highlander, you can go Grand Highlander, and you even have different engine options to go with too. So it's a nice vehicle to drive. I think it gives you a good, smallish size vehicle for being a 3-row. So it's not overly large, but it gives you a lot of space and practicality for more people to be in the back. So like I showed earlier, even I could sit in the 3rd row and be nice and comfortable. It's a smooth driving vehicle too. Seats are very comfortable. You have a good seating position too with the outlook over the hood, plenty of visibility too, and just a nice vehicle in general. For the price, I think you're getting a great vehicle. You don't have too many options with this particular model. However, like I've mentioned, you can go with some higher trim levels. You can get all-wheel drive too if that is something that is important to you. And it's something that is going to last a long time with Toyota's reliability. This is a vehicle that you can own for a long time. And as far as its maneuverability goes, we can touch base on that really quick with this road here. Pretty tight road, but you have the camera systems here, which are very helpful. Basically just your rear view there. And then let's give it another acceleration, just a mild one in normal mode. And we can get back up to speed here. So it's not a powerful vehicle, it's not a quick vehicle unless you go with the hybrid engines. So just depending on what you would like. But for this model here, is definitely plentiful to get you up and moving. And behind the wheel now for the GMC in sport mode, here we go. And as we get up to speed, I'd say it has an adequate amount of power for the Turbo 4 there, but this has been a very nice vehicle to drive. I've had this one for a few days, so a little bit more driving experience with it. Seating position is really nice. You can see out of the hood there. We have a smooth design for the steering wheel here, and then just a really nice, comfortable place to be. I will say some of the tech features, I would like to see some more physical buttons. I think it's really nice that we do have the toggles down below for fan speed, temperature, things like that. But you have some two-step processes with this touchscreen system, but that seems to be a lot of manufacturers doing that. Not everyone, like some of the competitors, of course, but that is one thing that I have noticed in having to go through some of that information. But as far as driving this goes, it's been very nice. Seats are very comfortable. The suspension is smooth. Power delivery is great. And then you still have a small SUV, but you also have a 7-seater too. So if you need a little bit more practicality, it's definitely a good size platform and something that would make for a great daily driver. It's been smooth, very quiet. And so coming back to our final thoughts now with the Grand Highlander and the GMC, these are both really good options. If you go with all-wheel drive for the Grand Highlander, it will cost a little bit more, so it will be more in line with the GMC. I do like all of the features that you get with the GMC. However, I think I like the more simple design with the Toyota. So it really just depends on the features that you like, which brand you want to go with, and the styling that you like as well. So comment down below, would you rather go with the GMC, or do you want to stick with the Toyota Highlander or the Grand Highlander and everything that is available with that? So comment down below, let me know which model you would rather choose and why. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I'll see you all in the next video.